Hi, good morning. We are reading The Mystery of History, Volume 4. We had taken a brief break of this between the 7 Years' War, Frederick the Great, and the 7 Years' War to kind of look at some of the science that was going on at the same time. We're reading a kind of two books together, Science in the Age of Reason and this Mystery of History, because it gives us a chance to kind of see what type of science is happening and some of the scientists that are developing or discovering, I guess is a better word, new ideas to them during the same time period. So we stopped last time looking at methane gas, which is natural gas, and Alessandro Volta. And what else did we look at? Luigi Galvani and electricity that moves through our nerves. Elements and compounds from Lavoisier. What else? Oh, the conservation of mass from Lavoisier. Combustion from Lavoisier. And before that, we didn't go over this one, but it was Joseph Priestley and photosynthesis. So all that stuff was all these discoveries were happening at about the same time as the 7 Years' War. And then this also says Alessandro Volta and the battery. Yeah, so we're not going to go over him today. We're going to read the rest of the 7 Years' War lesson. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what was happening at the same time. So we finished, what did we do here? Did we do Frederick the Great? Did we? I think we did, yes. Or also called Frederick II. I don't think he called himself the Great. Peter of Russia, Peter the Great of Prussia, he named himself the Great. He's like, I'll call myself the Great.
What's your name? Peter the Great.
Oh, who called you that? Me. So, let's see. Did we start the 7 Years' War in Europe? Yes, we did, because we looked at Silesia and what Maria Theresa did. Oh, wait. No. It's okay, no, we didn't read that part. Let's see. He marched through Saxony to secure his hold on Silesia. And Maria Theresa, she was the Duchess of Austria and the Empress of the Holy Roman Empire.
Oh.
What she says, she did something brilliant. She brought together Russia, Sweden, Saxony, and France to stand against Frederick. And I think Frederick, this is what Miss Hobart says. She says, I think Frederick was shocked, especially over the fact that France was against him. Frederick had been well connected to France. He loved French customs, he wrote French poetry, and his best friend, Voltaire, I didn't know that was his best friend, was a French philosopher. Nonetheless, Voltaire found at least two allies to stand with him. One was Hanover, who was a small German state. I'm wondering if we have a map of Hanover. Oh, we do. Okay. So here's Hanover. So Frederick was the ruler of Prussia, and then here is the other part of Prussia, which is Brandenburg. And remember, they have that little separation. Then he went and got Silesia. And then here is where Maria is, down in Austria. She's trying to get, what does it say? She got Russia, Saxony. Who else? Oh, France. And wasn't there one more? And Sweden. Where's Sweden? Sweden to stand against Frederick.
So it looks like that part of the one half of Prussia, so you know how the halves are divided by part of that land? That one half is in the Holy Roman Empire, and the other half is in the Kingdom of Poland. Aren't
That's true.
the guys that are part of here too?
This is Frederick the Great's allies. So it looks like where he got Hanover, this is Hanover, to be his ally. And then it looks like he's going to get England and Ireland to
Wow, he has
stand with him
all
too.
of England.
But it looks like Maria gets Spain as well to be her ally. That's a lot of allies against him. So let's see what happens. So he got Hanover, the small German state. We just looked at that little thing. He also got Great Britain, who was a longtime rival of France. With France and Great Britain against each other again, the 7 Years' War grew more intense. In fact, it expanded to India and Spain. Oh, was India even on this? No, India's not on this map. Okay, both India and Spain joined Maria. The addition of allies to both sides of the 7 Years' War aligned 3 countries against 7. I would say the 7 Years' War is kind of like the First World War. I have put the 2 sides of the war on the table to help you keep them straight. So, with Frederick the Great, we have Prussia, Hanover, and Great Britain. But with Maria Theresa, we have Austria, Russia, Sweden, Saxony, France, India, and Spain. As you can see, Frederick II had his work cut out for him. That means he's got a lot to do here. It's going to be difficult. It was not going to be easy. His biggest ally was Great Britain. Great Britain was strong, but also greatly distracted because it was fighting the Spanish. Cruz, that's making a lot of noise. It was fighting the Spanish and French elsewhere, including fighting the French in both India and North America. So Great Britain is like, they joined Frederick, but it's almost because they're already in a war against France and Spain. So they really didn't have that much of a choice, because if they join Maria, then they're going to be allies with the people who they're already in a fight with. You see? Like, well, we're fighting France over here in North America with the colonials, in North America, but we can't join France with Maria, because if we do that, then suddenly our enemy becomes our ally.
And also, even if they don't join any sides, they're basically helping. So they're basically helping Frederick anyway, because they're still fighting the French. And if they don't fight the French, then they're just giving up.
So, in a moment of sarcasm, Frederick compared his predicament in Europe to a man being swarmed by flies. He said, "When one flies off my cheek, another comes and sits on my nose, and scarcely has it been brushed off, then another flies up and sits on my forehead, on my eyes, and everywhere else."
Why are you being swarmed by?
He's saying it's like he's surrounded. Look at the map. He's calling them flies, which is, he's kind of trying to be demeaning. He's saying, "You flies, you're nothing more than flies. I'm swatting away." But see how he's kind of surrounded. He's the blue. He's surrounded by these pinks. It's like he's being swarmed by enemies. He's calling them flies to be demeaning, to say they're not a big deal. They're annoying, but nothing too big. If truth be told, Frederick II almost lost the 7 Years' War, though he won many a battle in the beginning. I can't believe he lost. I can't believe he won at all. By 1761, his troops were weary, exhausted, and spent. Then something happened to turn the tide of the events in the other direction. In 1762, the Empress of Russia died. The man who replaced her was a loyal friend of Frederick's. Because he was a friend, the new Russian leader pulled out of the war against Frederick. This gave Frederick the edge he needed to finish the war. Surprising to all, peace was secured with Austria by 1763, and in the end, Frederick kept Silesia.
I wanted the Empress to win.
Was 7 years of war worth it? Frederick would say so. For winning the 7 Years' War, which was against all odds, his reputation soared. His subjects called him Frederick the Great, and North American colonies named towns after him. For example, Frederick, Maryland. That's right near us. I didn't know that was named after him. And King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, is a town in Pennsylvania, or city in Pennsylvania. They were all named after Frederick II. By the end of his reign, Frederick the Great doubled the size of Prussia. Napoleon Bonaparte, which is a powerful ruler of later times, would greatly admire Frederick. And as for Maria Theresa, she would reign quite successfully. So she didn't really lose because, well, she lost Silesia, but she still kept Austria. She would reign quite successfully for years to come, and she mothered 16 children along the way. One of those children was Marie Antoinette, a vainglorious woman that we will study much later. I don't even know what that word vainglorious means. I have a feeling that it means seeking your own glory. Though I would love to go on right now and connect the dots from the 7 Years' War to the French and Indian War, I'm going to have to save it, because we first have some fascinating personalities to meet, weaving them into our world studies. They are Voltaire, Rousseau, and Benjamin Franklin. So we'll stop there. I do just want to look and just see the scientists that were also going on at this time. Let's see here. So this is during the mid-1700s that we have the 7 Years' War and Frederick the Great. I wish it would say what they did here on the contents and the Science in the Age of Reason. That's the way I could just kind of zoom through. But in the mid-1700s, we have the 7 Years' War, Frederick the Great Awakening with Jonathan Edwards, George Whitefield, and the 13 Colonies, and then also George Friedrich Handel. But in science, what's going on at the same time is Peter von Muschenbroek. We'll call him Muschenbroek. Inventing the Leyden jar.
What's that?
Well, I can't go through it right now, but it has something to do with electricity. We have Georges Leclerc, and I forgot all of these. Studying the Earth. Okay, it looks like he's studying the Earth.
Maybe that's when they figured
and the
out
Earth's
world.
temperature.
I remember that.
I don't think that he was a creationist.
Yeah, I remember that. He thought that the Earth was really hot at first, then it cooled down.
Then we have Buffon and spontaneous generation. And microscopic organisms. The law of biogenesis, which means that living organisms can only come from other living organisms. And then we have Benjamin Franklin, which we're getting ready to study in history, but he's right here in the science book on the law of conservation of charge. Then we have Benjamin Franklin and lightning rods, how it protects your house. Then some more.
Lightning rod.
We don't need one for some apparent reason, but I need you to stay focused because I got to move through this and stop. Some of Benjamin Franklin's other experiments. Let's see, including why we sweat. Let's see.
That one.
He also studied music. Then we had Carl Linnaeus. and classifying plants and animals in the kingdoms. There are 3 kingdoms, animal, vegetable, mineral, that he classified. Okay. And then him and binomial names. Okay, and fingerprints, investigating fingerprints. Then James Lind and citrus fruits and scurvy. I think that was, scurvy and citrus fruits.
Going over
Yep.
scurvy.
James Lind and distillation, studying typhus and drinking ocean water. I don't think that was the... Oh, he wanted to turn ocean water into drinking water, turning it into clean water. And then we have Joseph Black and the states of water, solid, liquid, and gas. Joseph Black and specific heat, which is basically how quickly something changes temperature. This is a lot of stuff that's happening in the mid 1700s. Then we have John Michel and magnets. What else do we have? Johann Carl Wilk and how to exchange charges, electrical charges between, like, static electricity, basically. Henry Cavendish and inflammable gas. This is remember I said inflammable probably means it catches fire quickly? It does. Inflammable means it catches very quickly. Rather than not flammable. Then we have Henry Cavendish's the gases in the air, which are mostly nitrogen and oxygen. James Watt and the steam engine. Watt's steam engine. And then who do we have? Moving on here, Joseph Priestley. Carbon dioxide and carbonated drinks. Then Joseph Priestley and photosynthesis. Here we go. We've now getting back to Lavoisier and combustion. Whew, that's a lot that's going on at the same time period in the mid 1700s. There's a lot going on in science that she just can't cover in history as well.
Because it has only but so many pages before her book gets so heavy it sinks into the table.
Yes. All right, let's stop there. That was a long one today. Okay, so we are stopping there. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.